Transportation is so superb.
The level of accommodation is better.
Very close to the Prophet Mosque.
I felt I should still be here to still worship more.
The changes have been so magnificent, so incredible.
Medina was a wonderful experience.
They exceeded our expectation.
For me, the Hajj service scheme is something which we must start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I am Binta Magaji. The fight to stop the spread of coronavirus is a collective responsibility. Let's be conscious of all precautionary measures to stay safe. Now to the program. Efficient service delivery to Nigerian pilgrims has always been the focus of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, particularly in Saudi Arabia. What are these services? How much information do pilgrims have about the services in order to make good use of them? Answers to these and other questions will form the focus of our Spotlight segment. Also in the program, we have other regular segments including the NAHCON News Diary, which features the activities of NAHCON chairman, key functionaries of the commission and other stakeholders. These are more shortly. Stay with us. Thanks for being there. We begin the program with the news diary as presented from our studio. But before then, here is this message for our new segment, Question and Answer, Q&A for short.
Do you have any questions to ask on any aspect of Hajj and UMRAH and you've been wondering how to go about it? You now have an opportunity to do so. All you need to do is to record the questions using your smartphone and send it through the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. Your questions will then be referred to the appropriate quarters for response and it will be aired on this program in our new segment Q&A. For clearer and better output, record your audio or video in a quiet place, not exceeding 2 minutes. Your recording should also have your name and address. Make good use of this opportunity to increase your knowledge on Hajj and UMRAH and also be part of management and administration of same in Nigeria. Participate in the Q&A as you answer the call.
Muhammad Nabina binuru adina Muhammad Nabina binuru.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, says it will make a statement at the end of Ramadan on whether or not the 2020 Hajj will take place. NAHCON chairman Alhaji Zikrullah Kunle Hassan stated this while answering listeners' questions on NAHCON-sponsored program Hajj, a Spiritual Journey, which comes up every Friday on the network services of the FRCN Abuja. Responding to one of the questions, the chairman said, and I quote, "I can't give you definite answer after the Ramadan, when the Saudi authorities would have agreed on whether or not the Hajj would hold. Of course, talk is ongoing. On the modalities and everything about 2020 Hajj, I will tell Nigerians." End of quote. Alhaji Zikrullah expressed optimism that opening of the two holy mosques in Mecca and Medina could be appointed to the hope that Hajj 2020 may take place. Answering another caller's question about COVID-19 pandemic, the chairman said that the commission has embarked on an intensive collaborative effort with the Federal Ministry of Health on the sensitization of intending pilgrims to ensure that they are acquainted with the preventive basic rules such as social distancing, use of face mask, and personal hygiene. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, Alhaji Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, says the commission will support licensed tour operators in their efforts to address the challenges being faced as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The chairman made the promise when the leadership of the Association of the Hajj and UMRAH Operators in Nigeria, AHON, led by its acting president Abdullahi Butu, visited Hajj House. Alhaji Zikrullah said the commission is aware of the economic effect brought on the hospitality industry particularly the cancellation of UMRAH by the Saudi authorities. He pleaded with the association to exercise patience as NAHCON is fashioning out plans to remedy the situation for the benefit of all. In his remarks, AHON acting president Abdullah Butu said they were at Hajj House to solicit for assistance in the area of boosting their revenue profile in the face of the COVID-19 global pandemic.
Nigeria intending pilgrims. Are you aware that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, in conjunction with Jais Bank and Islamic Development Bank IDB, have organized a standard means of offering animal sacrifice hadaya with ease? Be guided that it is optional depending on the type of Hajj one is performing. Hence, you are urged to seek Islamic scholars ulama's guidance. The intending pilgrims are cautioned not to make payments to unauthorized vendors who offer attractive prices but may turn out to be cheats. Make your hadaya payment to any Jais Bank next to you in Nigeria and collect your coupon, or to the State Pilgrims Welfare Board where you paid your Hajj fare. This message is from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. In the course of the Hajj, pilgrims are expected to enjoy certain services from service providers engaged by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. The services are those provided in Medina, Makkah, and Mashair, or during the stay in Mina, Arafat, and Muzdalifah. It is therefore imperative that pilgrims are acquainted with information about these services available for them. Our Spotlight segment highlights the services and what pilgrims should do to take advantage of them. Stay tuned.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
When pilgrims in Nigeria set out to perform the Hajj, they are programmed to enjoy certain services in order to make their journey and stay in the Holy Land comfortable. Before departing to Saudi Arabia, pilgrims are taken through enlightenment programs on Hajj rights and civic duties. In addition to this, they are entitled to uniform, 8-kilogram handbag, and basic travel allowance of $800 among others. Getting the right airliners to transport Nigerian pilgrims to Saudi Arabia and back home after the Hajj is also another important aspect of these services. When traveling, intending pilgrims must be cautious of all the rules and regulations guiding international travels. At the airport, their bags are subjected to checks by security agents. They are also advised to avoid carrying prohibited items such as gaseous materials, inflammable items, sharp objects, insecticides, lighter or matchboxes. NAHCON also ensures that medical personnel are provided on board every flight conveying pilgrims to the Holy Land. While in Saudi Arabia, pilgrims are provided with the following services: accommodation in Mecca and in Medina, feeding in Mecca, Medina and Mashair, medical facilities, transportation. Making feeding arrangements and securing accommodation in Mecca for Nigerian pilgrims fell on the shoulders of state pilgrims welfare boards, while the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON makes such arrangements for Nigerian pilgrims when they are in Medina.
The component of the food, the menu, you have enough quantity of rice that will be given to an elder and a mature adult to eat. Then if it is chicken, that chicken must be provided half Mr. A, the other half Mr. B. Then you have water, and that water is not 30 cl, 40 cl, 50 cl or 60 cl. Our own recommended water to be provided for an adult after he finished eating to drink and become certified is 75 cl. Then he should also provide either fresh fruit like orange, apple or banana. He should also provide laban. He should also provide juice. So these are the 6 items that make up the menu.
In line with NAHCON policy, Nigerian pilgrims stay in Medina first before moving to Mecca. To make the pilgrims comfortable, NAHCON ensures that they are lodged in 5-star hotels in an area called Markaziyya. It is a few meters away from the Grand Masjid. This makes it easy for the pilgrims to observe their daily prayers in the masjid. In the apartments, pilgrims on arrival are taught how to use the facilities in the hotels, particularly the use of electronic keys for the doors. Other facilities in the rooms include toilets, dining area, conference hall and masjid, visitors lounge, intercom and internet services, lifts, staircases and many more. As part of the arrangements, pilgrims are fed twice a day while in Medina, meaning they are entitled to breakfast and dinner. To achieve its objectives of providing Nigerian pilgrims with balanced diet, NAHCON usually constitutes feeding committees with clear instructions to ensure the following: compliance with contract agreements, timely delivery of food, guarantee the quality and quantity of the meals served to pilgrims, make appropriate reconciliation of transactions made with caterers. Others are being watchful over the hygienic condition of the kitchens, as well as to identify challenges and solve them. Still on feeding, similar arrangements are also made in Mecca, Mina and Arafah. The medical needs of Nigerian pilgrims are coordinated by members of the national medical team. NAHCON sets up clinics and centers in Medina, which is the first port of call for Nigerian pilgrims. In Mecca, the clinics are also strategically situated to allow for easy access by pilgrims, meaning the clinics are established close to where the pilgrims are lodged. The clinics are licensed to operate mainly on primary health care services, while serious cases requiring surgery and other complicated health issues are referred to Saudi hospitals. At the clinic, NAHCON medical personnel deploy the use of electronic medical record system to capture the data of pilgrims.
Essentially, this is a primary healthcare facility. So we only deal with very basic medical problems. And the wards we have are only for observation. We keep patients for 24 to 48 hours. Beyond that, if they are getting better, we discharge them to pilgrim accommodation. If they are not getting better, we convey them in our ambulances to the surrounding Saudi hospitals.
For the movement of pilgrims, transport companies are engaged by NAHCON to convey Nigerian pilgrims from Mecca to Medina or from Medina to Mecca, as well as Mina, Arafah and Muzdalifah. The comfort of pilgrims is taken seriously. This explains why the 2019-2020 model buses are secured by NAHCON to convey the pilgrims. The buses are fitted with television sets, air conditioners, internet, toilets and refrigerators. Unlike the 8-kilogram handbags made available to pilgrims right from Nigeria, the 32-kilogram main bags are given to pilgrims in Saudi Arabia at the end of the Hajj exercise. Very central to the success of Hajj operations is the effective management of pilgrims' 32-kilogram and 8-kilogram luggage. NAHCON and state officials have taken measures through enlightenment programs to ensure that pilgrims comply with the luggage requirements. NAHCON is meticulous in handling the 32-kilogram luggage. The Commission makes arrangements for all luggages to be weighed at various points near the apartments of pilgrims.
If a pilgrim has excess, instead of being left not knowing what to do, there are provision of excess luggage, and this excess luggage are also approved by NAHCON. NAHCON screens and process them duly to undergo this work. So if there is any default, you can refer to NAHCON. But if you go outside the approved, NAHCON will have no hand.
Compliance with this policy helps NAHCON to deliver the luggage ahead of the arrival of the pilgrims back to Nigeria after the Hajj. They collect the luggage along with 5 liters Zamzam water for each pilgrim. How pilgrims conduct themselves to take advantage of these services is very central to the success of Hajj operations. Pilgrims are therefore expected to exhibit good conduct throughout the Hajj period.
Nigeria intending pilgrims, are you aware that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, in conjunction with Jais Bank and Islamic Development Bank IDB, have organized a standard means of offering animal sacrifice hadaya with ease? Be guided that it is optional depending on the type of Hajj one is performing. Hence, you are urged to seek Islamic scholars ulama's guidance. The intending pilgrims are cautioned not to make payments to unauthorized vendors who offer attractive prices but may turn out to be cheats. Make your hadaya payment to any Jais Bank next to you in Nigeria and collect your coupon, or to the State Pilgrims Welfare Board where you paid your Hajj fare. This message is from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور.
When proceeding for Hajj or UMRAH, intending pilgrims are expected to prepare themselves on how to perform the rites associated with the exercise as enjoined by Islam. The preparations are spiritual, educational, financial, as well as physical, among others.
To go to Hajj.
On making the Hajj tonight, Sheikh Ahmad Onilewura is our guide. He begins by explaining the requirements by intending pilgrims embarking on Hajj.
They must have knowledge of what they are going for. They don't have to be scholars. They don't have to be erudite scholars. At least know the minimum knowledge of what you are going for. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Hadith al-Qudusi told Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fa'arifuni qabla an ta'buduni wa in lam ta'rifuni fa kayfa ta'buduni. Know me before you worship me. If you don't know me, how will you worship me? That is, you cannot know Allah physically, but you will know the knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about what you are going for. It's very important.
What must an intending pilgrim do for his family before leaving for the Hajj?
You cannot go to Hajj without leaving adequate money to your family. Your Hajj will not be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you don't prepare good living for your family before you travel. It's unfair for you to go to Hajj and your children will be begging on the street. It's unfair to go to Hajj and your daughter become prostitute because of living. It's unfair to you to go to Hajj and your wife will be suffering. So before you can go on Hajj, full preparation must be given to your family before you leave home for Hajj, and keep praying to Allah to return you to them safely.
The Islamic scholar says intending pilgrims must seek the forgiveness of members of their family and the society before embarking on the journey for Hajj.
You should settle amicably. You are traveling to a place you have never been or where you were last month or last year. What is the guarantee you are coming back home? What is the guarantee? Resolve any misunderstanding between you and your family members, between you and your co-workers, between you and your neighbors, between you and all the people Allah created you to be with. Your children, your wives, your husbands, and so on and so forth. Make sure you have amicable solution to any misunderstanding between you and them. Forgive them. Seek for their forgivenesses. If they do not forgive, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. So make sure that your mind is clear. You have no rancor. You have no misunderstanding. You have no problem. You are not fighting anybody. You go there with clean and true mind to observe, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very important.
Can a person borrow money to go for Hajj?
Borrowing money to go to Hajj. Some go and beg some go and borrow money to pay for Hajj, to go to Hajj, definitely Allah will not accept your Hajj, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not make going to Hajj compulsory. It is not mandatory. It is not obligatory. So it's based on if you can afford it. وَحَجَّ الْبَيْتِ لِمَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. And the fifth pillar of Islam is pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina if you can afford it. Allah has already put the condition there.
Sheikh Onilewura highlights the position of Islam in the case of an intending pilgrim being indebted to others.
You cannot go on pilgrimage and owe people so much money. You are indebted to many people, and you are going to Hajj with the money you borrow from them. I've already said it before. Pilgrimage will not be accepted from someone who go out to borrow money to pay for the pilgrimage. So if you are indebted to people, you are not among the people you cannot afford pilgrimage going to Hajj by owing people so much money. I'm not talking of 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000. No, that's minor something. But if you're in thousands, in what? In millions, in billions, in business transactions and everything, settle that one, because there's no guarantee that will come back to them. If in your destination that Allah already declined on you that you will die on Hajj. Some people died on Hajj, so many. Their time came when they get to Hajj.
What about the medical needs of the intending pilgrim?
If you are sick and that sickness, you have certain special treatment and medicine that you use. Make sure that you get paper, recognized letter from your doctor, from government hospitals.
The Imam points out that the most important of all the preparations for intending pilgrims is the fear of Allah.
MashaAllah. Up next is the quiz. Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, mention the major condition required for one to perform the Hajj for another person. The correct answer is, the major condition is that such persons must have performed the Hajj themselves. The winner is Kunle Mariam from Oshogo, Osun State. She provided the answer ahead of others. Kunle Mariam will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach her with the prize she won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. Previous winners whose names have been announced but are yet to receive the prizes should reach us through this number showing on your screen. Now to the quiz for this week. The question is, list other 3 names of the Kaaba. I repeat, list other 3 names of the Kaaba. Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Before we round off, we take some messages. The first message came from GSM number 0803-228-4691. It reads, I wish all the Muslim Ummah happy Ramadan. May Almighty Allah ease our difficulties. I urge us all to fall back to Allah in prayers to overcome COVID-19 pandemic. Olaniran Hamid from Iduroko, Ogun State sent in the second message. The message says, your program on Hajj is my favorite. I am learning a lot about Hajj. I don't want to miss it. Thank you. You too can send a message through our mobile number and other social media platforms. Remember, you can stop the spread of coronavirus by complying with all preventive measures. Let's support our governments in the fight against coronavirus. That's it on this edition of the program. As you answer the call, join me same time next week for another package. Good night and thanks for watching.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك.